Eli's been trying to wash dishes all day, um,
Yeah.
which is great, but he also likes to try and put the Dawn pressure wash or power wash stuff in his mouth. So, uh,
Hey, if it's good enough for the ducks.
yeah. So, here's Captain Eli. Can you say hello, everybody?
Hi.
Yeah, I don't hear any like spilled petroleum, so I think it works.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
showing me
monster
his
truck!
yeah his Gravedigger shirt.
Oh,
Can
heck yeah,
you tell
dude!
him USA, USA?
USA.
USA, USA.
Yeah.
Hey, watching the game today, Eli.
Say yep.
Yeah.
Eli's a big soccer guy, so he's pretty excited that our team is playing.
Yeah.
So, um, anyway, welcome everybody to season two, episode 20 of Hexproof from Ward. Sorry for the delay, but we're excited to have you. Um,
Daddy.
there's a kitty. Yeah, Keith's kitty. We have a very
Mhm.
exciting episode. We are finishing our 32 deck challenge for Commander this evening. So, uh, I've thought about putting that on a shirt. The like Hexproof from Ward 32 deck challenge, like all of the decks that we made that fit that. I think it would be kind of cool to have that on the back of a t-shirt and then have our logo on the front. But anyway, uh, yeah, so we're going to do that today. We're also just going to talk about the new secret lair that's going to be print to demand that they are doing for this year's charity secret lair. Um, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to do next since we're finishing up the 32 deck challenge and a couple other things. So, how's everybody been doing? What you all been up to this week?
I've been good. Had a good 4th of July, just kind of pretty low key. Had some friends over, played some Commander with some my friends who are newer players. So got to square up against a uh, the three color Assassin's Creed
Ooh,
pirates, which is pretty cool. So yeah.
nice. How did that do? How'd that deck do?
It's pretty good. It's I'm spacing the name of the commander, but he makes treasures for the tapped pirates and vehicles and rogues or assassins. It's pretty neat. So that was a cool in the face.
Awesome. Keith, what have you been up to?
Uh, I've been sick mostly, but I also saw a couple movies recently. So I saw Backrooms and Supergirl.
Oh,
Backrooms was
nice.
really good.
And Supergirl.
Also pretty good.
Okay.
Could be better, but it
All right.
wasn't bad.
I heard it's going to be on
Um,
streaming in like, hold on, let me check. We were literally just talking about this. So apparently it's getting dumped onto streaming in, let's see. Sorry, guys.
yeah, I saw it in
Um,
digital and I felt like the movie was really dark, which was kind of strange.
yeah.
Yeah, so it
Anyway,
wasn't.
I don't know where it went, but
So in
it's in a couple
45
days.
minutes,
Not very long.
minutes.
Yeah, not very long from now. It's going to be, oh, in 2 weeks. Warner
Oh,
Brothers is dumping
jeez.
Supergirl onto streaming in 2 weeks. So,
Wow. I
um,
liked it. It's a good watch.
I think people are just kind of getting a little too crazy with it, and just go in and watch it like you are having a good
Yeah,
time,
well,
and it'll be
it's
fine.
a new, I mean, it's the second movie in like the DCU, so kind of want to support it and make sure there's more movies.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, uh, Sam, what have you been up to?
Nothing.
Nice. Nice.
Hey, that's my move.
We had a wedding in Chicago. This was pretty fun. It was our first like sort of traditional Jewish wedding to go to. So that was fun experiencing that. and I just got sent $11 on Venmo for no reason. Um, Pretty cool. Uh, so we did that. That was a lot of fun. And then yesterday we got back and we went to pick up Eli because he stayed with my mom at the campgrounds. And my brother was like, "You want to ride on our boat?" And I was like, "You have a boat?" So I was we went we went out. He bought a pontoon off one of the guys from work. So
Motorboating.
we went out there and got absolutely downpoured on, and then it got nice and we had fun skipping rocks. And Eli went under the water a couple times and scared himself, but other than that, it was a good time. So with that, do we want to get into the new secret lair
Sure.
uh,
Yeah.
that's coming up? Let me pull it up here. So this news just dropped that we're getting um, the yearly um, secret lair that benefits a charity. So it's kind of cool. Um, so we'll go over there and talk about that. And here we go. So, Secret Lair, with the Global Fund for Women, their magic is limitless. So, um, Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast are excited to announce our partnership with Global Fund for Women, one of the world's largest leading foundations for gender justice. For this partnership, we're releasing a brand new Secret Lair drop in support of Global Fund for Women. Their magic is timeless or limitless. I can't read. Global Fund for Women supports grassroots gender justice organizations around the world, helping resource the leaders and communities working toward lasting change. That spirit of connection shaped this drop from the beginning. Their magic is limitless. Celebrates women through the women of magic. The characters on the cards, wow. The artists who brought them to life and the Wizards creative team behind it all. Their magic is limitless will be available at magicsecretlair.com from July 20th to August 3rd. It'll be printed to demand, and 50% of the product price will be donated to the fund. So we're going to get Dark Ritual, Cultivate, Finale of Devastation, Lathril, and Coat of Arms. Dark Ritual is brought to us by Fury Galuzzi. And then Cultivate is Ivy Dollamore. Finale of Devastation is Julie Dillon. Lathril Blade of the Elves is Magali Villanueva, one of
Oh,
the
cool.
coolest people in Magic. All these people are great. I'm a patron of hers. So anyway, shout out.
Lurven.
Uh, Coat of Arms is Caroline Gariba. So my favorite art wise is probably Cultivate, just because those little veggies sitting there
Yeah.
talking and having
Yeah.
fun. It's like a throwback to Veggie Tales, in my opinion.
I'm loving the finale Devastation, and it's probably one of the better looking coat of arms too.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
I'm
Um,
liking that. I'm actually liking that print for Lathril. Canonically, she has a daughter, so to have like that daughter being like mentored and stuff in the art is really cool. So you get a better glimpse of that character instead of just her being the scary elf that everyone's kill on sight.
yeah, and I'll always be a sucker for a good Liliana, so that Dark Ritual is pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah.
Uh,
So a fun little fact: Nathan's actually one of the fangirls in the art with the headdress. So that's
yeah,
if you look closely.
and then I'm gonna scroll down because I forgot that there were more cards. We've also got Soul Ring from Elena Richards and Path of
That's
Ancestry
pretty cool.
by Livia
Like the
Prima. So
Brea.
yeah, that Soul Ring is pretty freaking cool. And the Path to Ancestry is really nice too.
Who's
So
the other one in the Soul Ring? Does anyone know?
it's
And no, I
Brea
think
and
it's
someone
Sahili.
else.
It's Sahili and Brea.
Oh,
So it's really cool. The whole team was all women. So through the creative, through everything, it's all pretty cool. Belgium scored 1 goal, so Belgium is up 1-0. Um,
sheesh.
that's a bummer. We're in 10 minutes into the match. Um, so yeah, the creative team was comprised of 8 wizards from various teams and disciplines. Lauren Bond, Sloan Long, Stephanie Chung on Nguyen, Alicia Mickeys, Kat Morgan, Athena Froelich, Rachel Agnes. So that's the creative team. This whole article is just great. So if you look up the article, you can check out all the cards and why they chose each card, and it's really cool seeing everything that went into it, and it'd be kind of nice to see that from every secret layer. But think people their arms would get tired from typing all the time. Um, so with that, um, what do you guys think about print to demand? I feel like it would be pretty cool to see that happen more often. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I think it would, with it being a set for charity, print to demand makes sense so they can make as much money for charity as possible. I would love to see that in more than just their for charity products, but it would be I think it'd be a bad impression to not print to demand the one for charity and to have any sort of like negativity and uh the whole scalping ecosystem be involved with that just would be a bad taste in everyone's mouth.
Yeah, that'd be kind of rough.
Yeah,
So I think,
resellers are having a
yeah,
crazy time.
I think it was a brilliant move to make this one print to demand. And I think it'd be an even more brilliant move to make them all print to demand. But here we are.
Yeah,
People want it.
yeah.
Everyone complains
The
about it.
people have asked for it a handful of times.
Yeah, if you get on mtgstocks.com and you look at
Stonks.
like every secret lair drop, just like it sort of makes you incentivized to just buy, hold, and sell them because all of them like double in price.
Yeah, doubling season all the time. Um, okay. Let's go ahead and move on to our deck build. So this deck build's a little different. We wanted to try something different where we go ahead and kind of just build the deck, and then everybody kind of looks at it and sees if there's anything that needs changed or replaced and things like that. So this was my deck. It's let's call it a draw. MSS bags available upon request. So it's a 1/1 counter, drawing, discarding, a little bit of combo type stuff going on. So let's get into it. We are using partners for this deck. So we've got Timna the Weaver. For one, a white and a black is a 2/2 human cleric with lifelink. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may pay X life, where X is the number of opponents that were dealt damage this turn. If you do, draw X cards. She has partner, and I partnered her with Kadili, chosen of Krufix for 2, a green and a blue is a 2/3 human wizard with tap, add colorless to your mana pool for each card you've drawn this turn. So we're going to kind of have them work together and get us cards so we can do some damage to people. We've got 2 planeswalkers here. We've got Jace, Wielder of Mysteries for 1 and 3 blue. He starts out at 4. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. So there's a little win con there. You can +1. Target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Draw a card. -8. Draw 7 cards. Then if you have no cards in your then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. Teferi Temporal Pilgrim, 3 and 2 blue, starts out at 4. Whenever you draw a card, put a loyalty counter on Teferi. He starts out, he's got a 0 ability that just says draw a card. His -2 is create a 2/2 blue spirit creature token with vigilance, and whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. His ultimate -12 is target opponent chooses a permanent they control and return it to its owner's hand. Then they shuffle each non-land permanent they control into its owner's library. So that's fun. We've got 30 creatures in here, so that's quite a bit. Esper Sentinel for a white 1/1 human soldier. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card unless that player pays X, where X is Esper Sentinel's power. Noble Hierarch for 1 green is a 0/1 human druid with Exalted. So whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Then you can tap it to add a green, white, or a blue to the mana pool. Bloom Tender for 1 and a green is a 1/1 with Vivid. You can tap it for each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. Fairy Mastermind, 1 in a blue, is a 2/1 fairy rogue with flash flying. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. Then you can pay 3 in a blue. Each player draws a card. Jennifer Walters, a new Marvel creature. 1 white is a 2/3 human advisor hero. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Then you can pay 3 a green and 2 white, transform Jennifer Walters. You can only do that as a sorcery. So she turns into the sensational She-Hulk for 3 a green and 2 white. She's a 6/6 gamma hero with reach trample. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn, and whenever a creature you control is dealt damage, you may have the sensational She-Hulk deal that much damage to any target. You can only do this once each turn. Loki, God of Mischief, for 1 and a blue, is a God Sorcerer Villain, 2/1. Whenever a player or permanent becomes a target of an ability you control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Sithis, Harvest Hand, for a green and a white, is a 1/2 nymph. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card. The Astonishing Ant-Man is going to put in work on this deck. Is a You pay a green and a blue, you get a 1/1 human scientist hero that says whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on the Astonishing Ant-Man. You pay 2 and a green, tap it, remove any number of +1/+1 counters from the Astonishing Ant-Man, create that many 1/1 green insect creature tokens. Thrasios, for a green and a blue, is a 1/3 Merfolk Wizard. Pay 4, scry 1, then reveal the top of your library. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, draw a card, and has partner, doesn't matter. Washitong, Librarian, X and 2 blue, 1/1 Bird Spirit, Flash, Flying Vigilance. When Washitong enters, put X +1/+1 counters on him, then draw half X cards rounded down. Whenever an opponent searches their library, put a +1/+1 counter on Washitong and draw a card. Willie Lumpkin is a white and a blue 1/3 human citizen. He can't be blocked. Whenever Willie deals combat damage to an opponent, you draw a card and that player may draw a card. If they do, that player can't attack you or permanents you control during their next turn. Abuelo, Ancestral Echo, 1 a white and a blue, is a 2/2 spirit with flying and ward 2. You can pay 1 a white and a blue, exile another target creature or artifact you control, return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Chasm Skulker, for 2 and a blue, 1/1 Squid Horror. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. When this creature dies, create X 1/1 blue squid creature tokens with Island Walk, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on this creature. Edrix, Spymaster of Trest. 1 a green and a blue, 2/2 elf rogue. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may draw a card. Feyburrow Elder, for 1 a green and a white, is a 0/0 treefolk druid with vigilance. This creature gets +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control. Tap it for each color among permanents you control. Add 1 mana of that color. Helmut Zemo, Mastermind, 2 and a blue, 2/2 human noble villain. Whenever Helmut Zemo attacks, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value less than or equal to its power from your graveyard. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. If you cast a spell this way, put a +1/+1 counter on Helmet. King T'Challa, for 1 a white and a blue, is a 3/2 human noble hero with flash. Whenever a player draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. 4 a white and a blue to transform into Black Panther, Hope Enduring. 3/3 human warrior hero with flash, double strike, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to Black Panther. Whenever Black Panther deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Laboratory Maniac, 2 and a blue, is a 2/2 human wizard. If you would draw a card while your library has 0 cards in it, you win the game. Rayhan, Last of the Abzan, 1 a black and a green, 0/0 human warrior. Rayhan enters the battlefield with 3 1/1 counters on it. Whenever a creature you control dies or is put into the command zone, if it had one or more 1/1 counters on it, you may put that many 1/1 counters on target creature. Scrawling Crawler, for 3 colorless, is a 3/2 Phyrexian construct. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player loses 1 life. Baxter, Fly in the Ointment, 3 and a blue, 2/2 insect mutant scientist. Whenever Baxter enters or attacks, each creature you control with a counter on it gains flying until end of turn. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Baxter. So this deck is going to be putting +1/+1 counters on a whole bunch of creatures. If we can keep Baxter safe, we're going to be able to smack everybody really quick once we get him on the battlefield. Clinquit Sky Mage, 3 and a blue, 1/1 Bird Wizard, flying. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Iron Man Armored Avenger, 3 and a blue, 2/2 Human Hero, flying. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Whenever Iron Man attacks, other attacking modified creatures gain flying until end of turn. Equipments, auras you control, and counters are modifications. So if they get counters, they're all going to get flying. So he's a backup for Baxter if we lose Baxter. Uh, Kian, probably said that wrong. Corrupted Memory, 2, a green and a blue, 2/2 illusion. As long as the power is even, you may cast non-creature spells as though they had flash. As long as the power is odd, you may cast creature spells as though they had flash. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on the creature. Lila, Holographic Assistant, 3 and a blue is a 2/2 illusion. Advisor, whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Quasar, Augur of Agonies, 1, a white, a blue, and a black is a 3/4 Cephalid Advisor. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. 20-toed Toad for 3 and a blue is a 3/3 Frog Wizard. Maximum hand size is 20. Whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on 20-toed Toad and draw a card. Whenever 20-toed Toad attacks, you win the game if there are 20 or more counters on it, or if you have 20 more cards in hand. We're going to have a couple of ways to get him to 20. Crewfix, God of Horizons, 3, a green and a blue, is a 4/7 God. With Indestructible, as long as your devotion to green and blue is less than 7 Crewfixes in a creature, you have no maximum hand size. If unused mana would empty from your mana pool, that mana becomes colorless instead. Psychosis Crawler, for 5 colorless, is a star horror. Psychosis Crawler's power and toughness for each equal to the number of cards in your hand. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. So we've got a little bit of a combo going on there. Sin, Unending Cataclysm, is our biggest creature that we have. 5, a green and a blue is a 5/5 Leviathan with flying and trample. As Sin enters, remove all counters from any number of artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. Sin enters with X 1/1 counters on it, where X is twice the number of counters removed this way. When Sin dies, put its counters on target creature you control, then shuffle this card into its owner's library. Silly card. Ridiculous.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
we want to talk about the creatures real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of like
Let's do
impressions
it.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did a good job of deploying some plan and having backups for that plan. I really like seeing Baxter and Iron Man in there just pass as like evasive guys that are just a classic beatdown strategy. Even if you don't get to your combo where you have your lab man or anything like that, you're going to be a threat on the board with these really easy to get them to be like 30/30 flying beaters. So you might not need to find your combo pieces if you've already beaten your opponents over the head with these massive creatures. So I really like that as a violent backup plan.
Yeah, this deck, and that's why I think I put that Emesis bags available upon request, because it can get out of hand pretty freaking quick. I These are some of my favorite colors in all of Magic, so being able to use them to the best of my ability and do things that I like to do was a lot of fun. So I appreciate you guys letting me do this color combo. Yeah. And Sin is just gross, dude. I didn't even know about it
That's so
until
cool.
somebody posted about it. And I was like, oh my God, that's got to go in this deck. Like, I know it's
Yeah,
expensive,
you get
but
to steal counters.
yeah. And the other thing is it's expensive, but I've got ways to like, you get to keep your unused mana and stuff like that. So it'll make it a little bit cheaper.
And then this trigger, is that a die or is it whenever it leaves the battlefield trigger?
What is that?
Sithis is trigger whenever you move the counters over. Uh, because depending on that abuelo, that might be like just like having this giant Leviathan enter and leave like repeatedly could do some crazy things depending on like shifting counters and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
so when it enters, you can remove the counters from any of them. So you can use Ablelo's like flicker ability. And then the other thing is we've got Kian in there that can make your creatures have flash too. So like it can come out of nowhere and just like absolutely nuke somebody that way too.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
right on. Yeah.
and then when it dies, you get to move those counters too, and it goes back into your library. So it's a problem that never really goes away.
Mhm.
So it's
It
pretty
is the
fun.
herpes of the deck. Gotcha.
Yes. And herpes is could be seen as a sin. But anyway, here we go. You ready to move on to sorceries?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Ponder for a blue. Look at the top three cards of your library, then put them back in any order you may shuffle. Draw a card. Exsanguinate for X and 2 black. Each opponent loses X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. Farseek, 1 and a green. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card. Put it into the battlefield. Tap, then shuffle. I just want to point out there are not color pips in the text box, so that's how you can use that. Even though there aren't mountains in this card in this deck, you can still use that because it's written out and it's not a color pip. So, 3 visits, 1 and a green. Search your library for a forest card. Put that onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. That's one that could go away. Cultivate for 2 and a green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put one onto the battlefield, tapped, and the other into your hand. Then shuffle. Kodama's Reach for 2 and a green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put one onto the battlefield, tapped, and the other into your hand. Then shuffle. Windfall 2 and a blue. Each player discards his or her hand, then draws cards equal to the number or to the greatest number of cards that player discarded this way. And then another win con in this deck, Approach of the Second Sun for 6 and a white. If Approach of the Second Sun was cast from your hand and you've cast another spell named Approach of the Second Sun this game, you win the game. Otherwise, put Approach of the Second Sun into its owner's library, 7th from the top, and you gain 7 life. So there's a quick and easy way to win if you need to. Do we want to talk about the sorceries in here?
Um, I think the backup win con with the approach of the seventh sun is nice. I do actually like 3 visits because it's not a basic forest. So if you're running
That's
triumph to
true.
fix your land,
Yeah.
That's true.
I think that's a good one to get to keep in actually.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
good for any duel. You can get like green white or green blue or the
Yeah.
cat's freaking out.
Okay. Tell the kitty to chill. All right. Instance. We've got Brainstorm for a blue. Draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library. Arcane Denial for 1 and a blue. Counter target spell. Its controller may draw up to 2 cards at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. You draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Heroic Intervention for 1 and a green. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Do we want to talk about the instance? There's not really much there, but
No, that just kind of the heroic intervention just kind of protects your game plan and everything. So
yeah.
Yeah,
And
not a lot of protection so far.
yeah, uh, we just kind of fly by the seat of our pants a little bit here, but it's fun. So here we go. Artifacts. Ready, Bobby? The Ozolith for 1 colorless. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it has counters on it, put those counters on the Ozolith. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if the Ozolith has counters on it, you may move all the counters from the Ozolith onto target creature. Arcane Signet for 2 colorless. Tap it to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's identity. Howling Mind for 2 colorless. At the beginning of each player's draw step, if Howling Mind is untapped, that player draws a card. Lightning Greaves for 2 colorless. Equipped creature has haste and shroud. Equipped for 0. Swiftfoot Booties. Speaking of, congratulations to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce on their nuptials. For 2 colorless, we equip creature with hexproof and haste. Equipped for 1. Aether Siphon for 1 and 2 blue. Start your engines. 2 tap it, draw a card, and max speed. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. Glistening Sphere for 3 colorless. Glistening Sphere enters the battlefield tapped. When Glistening Sphere enters the battlefield, proliferate. Tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Tap it to add 3 mana of any 1 color. Activate only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Staff of Domination for 3 colorless. Pay 1, untap Staff of Domination. Pay 2 and tap it. You gain 1 life. Pay 3 and tap it. Untap target creature. Pay 4 and tap it. Tap target creature. Pay 5 and tap it. Draw a card. USA just scored. We are tied 1-1, 30 minutes and 45 seconds into the match.
Nice.
Entropic Battle Cruiser, 3 and a black. It has station. 1+, whenever an opponent discards a card, they lose 3 life. 8+, flying, death touch. Whenever this spacecraft attacks, each opponent discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. Okay. Do we want to talk about the artifacts?
Yeah, I think they are synergizing pretty well. I couldn't help but notice that Entropic Battle Cruiser make the list, so I'm happy to see
Yeah.
that card on there. So it's you could do a lot worse for 26 cents, that's for sure.
Yeah, we talked about it in the group chat, and I was like, "Well, that's perfect. It's going to go in this deck." So, the only one that's kind of iffy is the Glistening Sphere, since we're not really putting poison
Yeah.
counters on things.
Yeah.
Um,
So
so
when we go revisit the cards, I have some suggestions, but let's get through this list and look at those pretty enchantments.
all right, cool. Enchantments. We've got Wizard class for 1 blue. You have no maximum hand size. When this class becomes level 2, you can draw 2 cards. You can get to level 2 by paying 2 in a blue. Level 3, pay 4 in a blue. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Jace's Erasure. One of the very first cards I ever opened in a pack, by the way. 1 in a blue. It's an enchantment that says whenever you draw a card, you may have target player put the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Sterling Grove. I absolutely love this card. Green and a white. It's an enchantment that says other enchantments you control have Shroud. Uh, Pay 1. You can sacrifice Sterling Grove. Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, then shuffle it. Put that card on top. Arch Nemesis is a fun new card from the Marvel superhero set that is an aura that says enchant opponent. Whenever you attack enchanted player, that player loses 2 life. You draw a card and gain 2 life. Whenever a player attacks you, you may attach this aura to that player. So, a little bit of fun there. Dictate of Crufix for 1 and 2 blue has flash. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. So there's a little bit of draw punishment here in this deck here. So if you haven't figured that out yet, Psychic Corrosion for 2 and a blue. It's an enchantment that says whenever you draw a card, each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Sphinx's Tutelage for 2 and a blue. It's an enchantment that says whenever you draw a card, target opponent puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. If they're both non-land cards that share a color, repeat this process. Belgium just scored another goal, so they're up 2-1. And then you can pay 5 and a blue, draw a card, then discard a card. Stark's Ingenuity for 2 and a blue. Enchant creature you control. When this aura enters, you may pay X. If you do, draw X cards. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on enchanted creature. Words of Worship for 2 and a white. It's an enchantment that says pay 1. The next time you would draw a card this turn, you gain 5 life instead. Teferi's Ageless Insight for 2 and 2 blue. If you would draw a card except for the first one you draw on each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. Exquisite Blood for 4 and a black. When an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Inexorable Tide for 3 and 2 blue. Whenever you cast a spell, proliferate. Sanguine Bond for 3 and 2 black. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So that's a little wombo combo there. It's one of my favorites in all of Magic. It's gross. Here are our lands. We've got. You want to talk about our enchantments, real quick? Sorry.
Um, uh, yeah, so just more helping with the game plan. Wizard cast class goes infinite with like a lot of things that in Starks. I have a creature recommendation for whenever we get into that you might like with a couple of the engine pieces you got going. But definitely, I see the pieces are all together. The Exquisite Blood, Sanguine Bond, classically disgusting combo. So just another way to close this out. So cool. I love and then I get why Sithis is in the deck now with as like there's this isn't an Enchantress deck and I see there's 13
Yeah.
Enchantress. So like okay, that's instances for draw.
Yeah. So.
Yep. Happy to see some draw payoffs in here.
All right. Sweet. Our lands, we've got Breeding Pool, so it's a forest island. When it enters, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters tapped, which is fine because we've got ways to get our life back. City of Brass, when this land becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to you. You can tap to add 1 mana of any color. Command Tower, tap to add 1 mana of any of your commander's colors. Exotic Orchard, tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls would produce. Forests, we've got 3 of them. Godless Shrine is a plain swamp. You can tap to add a white or a black. As this land enters, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters tapped. Hallowed Fountain is a plains island. You can tap to add a white or a blue. When it enters, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters tapped. Island, we've got 4 of them. Maze of Ith. So this is just a fun card that it's a land that I like to play every once in a while. Tap it to untap target attacking creature, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by that creature this turn. Manamo, School at Water's Edge. It's a legendary land. You can tap it to add 1 blue to your mana pool. You can pay 1 blue, tap it to untap target legendary permanent. Morphic Pool is a land that enters unless you have 2 or more opponents. You can tap to add a blue or a black. Overgrown Tomb is a swamp forest that if you pay 2 life, it enters untapped. If you don't, it enters tapped. We've got 3 planes. We've got Reflecting Pool, so tap to add 1 mana of any type that a land you control would produce. Rejuvenating Springs, unless you have 2 or more opponents, it enters tapped. You can tap to add a green or a blue. Rogue's Passage, tap to add 1 to your mana pool. Pay 4, tap it. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Pretty gross. Sea of Clouds enters tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents. You can tap to add a white or a blue. Spara's Headquarters is a forest plains island. You can tap to add a forest plains or an island. It enters tapped. It has cycling 3, so you can discard it. You can pay 3, discard it, draw a card. 3 swamps. Temple Garden for a green or a white. Another one of those pay 2 life things. Undergrowth Stadium. Unless you have 2 or more opponents, it enters tapped. You can tap to add a black or a green. Vault of Champions enters unless you have 2 or more opponents. Tap to add a white or a black. Watery Grave. As it enters, you can pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters tapped. It's a blue or a black. And then the Zagoth Triome, Swamp Forest Island. Tap to add a black, green, or blue. It enters tapped and it has cycling 3. And then we've got 8 cards that we're considering. We don't really have to go over those right now, but so that's what I've got. That's 100 cards. I'm sorry I've been talking for forever. It seems like, but yeah,
No, that's part of the new formula. You present your child, and then we have a parent-teacher conference with it. So
perfect.
that's yeah. So there there are some cards that I want to pitch to your maybe list if you
Okay.
are ready for them.
Yeah.
So the first card I want to say is Benthic Biomancer, Ben. Yeah. Now,
Okay.
this is a creature that would combo with Wizard's Class and Stark's Ingenuity,
Okay.
because whenever you put a +1/+1 counter on him, you draw a card.
Okay.
So then you get to draw your whole deck with him out and either of those 2 cards.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. Another one I wanted to mention is because you have the Quiza Augur of Agony, there is a artifact called Marina uh, Vendrill's Grimoire.
There we go.
Yeah, so uh, then I think there's another creature that this might combo off with, but when it enters, if you cast it, draw 5 cards, and then you have no maximum hand size, and don't lose the game for having 0 life. And then whenever you gain life, you draw that many cards, and then if you lose life, you discard that many cards. So that would
I'll
go,
have that one replace the glistening sphere.
yeah. So that goes infinite with Quiza, and then also, if we're just drawing a crap ton of cards, we just can our life doesn't matter. We just have a fistful of cards
Right.
that they have to deplete through. So
Yeah. Okay.
um, then uh, I have more, but I can give the Sam and Keith an opportunity if there was anything that they wanted to pitch.
Sam, got anything?
I would say you'd maybe throw in privileged position. A little pricey mana wise. It's 2 and 3 color hybrid color pips, but other permanents you control have hexproof. If you have Sterling Grove on, you can't be touched. Your permanents can't be touched.
Okay.
Sterling Grove would then give Shroud to privileged position, but then privileged position would give Sterling Grove and everything else hexproof.
Okay. I like it.
That would be your wall per se.
Okay.
That's it.
Uh, Keith, did you have anything?
Yeah. So there's a classic CEDH combo with either Ladman or typically Thassa's Oracle. It's a demonic consultation, and it's 1 black instant. Name a card. Remove the top 6 cards of your library from the game. Then reveal cards from top of your library until you reveal the name card. Put that card into your hand and remove all of the cards revealed this way from the game. So ideally, you just have either Ladman or the Jace out, and then you kind of just win on the spot.
Right. Because you just name a
Um,
card that you don't have.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's that then since we're firing off the uh some nasty mill combos and stuff too, there is River Churn Monument.
River Churn Monument.
C8 uh
Got it.
yeah. So then this is you can tap and any number of player mill 2 cards, but most importantly, it's the exhaust for 2 and a blue, any number of target players, each mill equal to the number of cards in that player's graveyard. And
Nice.
then a spicy little ad if we're just filling our yard with cards from our deck is a little pocket favorite card of mine called Angel of Suffering, which is a very metal name. Yeah, it's a creature. It's a 5 drop, and uh, it's 3 and 2 black. If damage would be dealt to you, you prevent that damage and mill twice that many cards.
Nice.
I
Nice.
have a maybe or two. I know we're drawing a lot of cards, but Toski, Bearer of Secrets, 3 and a green, legendary creature, 1/1,
I
has
think
this
he's
spell
in
can't be
there.
countered,
Oh no.
indestructible. And Toski, Bearer of Secrets, attacks each combat if able. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to player, draw a card. Just helps enable a lot of your beaters and those combo or +1/+1 counter synergies.
Right.
And then also Prof's Eidetic Memory, PROFT''S, 1 in blue, legendary enchantment. When Prof's Eidetic Memory enters the battlefield, draw a card. You have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've drawn more than 1 card this turn, put X 1/1 counters on target creature you control, where X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn, -1. I'm
Nice.
pretty sure this is like a standard monster or something right now, or it has been for a while. I think it's in like is that prowess decks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's banned on Arena in first
Yeah.
standard. So one card I want to pitch. You wanted to have something to protect your Baxter and your Iron Man. So a good way to do that is it's not a episode of Hexproof from Ward if Josh doesn't say you should be putting Bulwark Ox in your deck. So uh,
My
I can't see what I'm typing.
you're doing it. I don't know why it's being dumb. There he
There
is.
we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So Bulwark Ox, it's a creature an ox mount. Whenever it attacks while saddled, you get +1/+1 counter target creature. But the most important thing is you can sacrifice this creature, and creatures you control with counter on them gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So it's
Nice.
if you're throwing counters on everything, it's just a panic button to save your board.
Nice. Yeah.
Um, I think
Mm,
that the only other thing was I was going to mention is because you have so many combos. I know you're drawing a lot, but
Hmm.
tutors might not hurt to smooth that out. But or you can just try to draw into them organically. Whatever however you want to play the deck. Because right now, having demonic consultation and some stuff is this is a pretty powerful deck as is. So if you want to,
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of keep it how it is and then figure out what cards I'm gonna move to the considering since we're at 106.
yeah.
Um, but
Um,
I'll name off the yeah, go ahead, Sam.
I this is gonna be the last one that you might want to consider. Archmage Ascension, an enchantment, 2 and a blue. At the beginning of each end step, if you drew 2 or more cards this turn, you may put a quest counter on this enchantment. As long as this enchantment has 6 or more quest counters on it, if you would draw a card, you may instead search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle.
nice.
Well, that sounds like a pretty ideal tutor. Not to be confused with idyllic tutor.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Um,
Mm.
we'll draw some. Deal another hand. Deal another hand.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Got
Yeah.
your colors, got your uh
Mhm.
I got draw for sure.
Yep. Yeah. So we've got it's a bracket two.
No, it's not. It's a two card combo. I know it, and this says bracket two, but I promise you it's a bracket three,
Oh no, two. Yeah.
3 or 4.
I don't know, man.
If you bring this to a two, you will lose friends.
Even three says no two card combos.
Oh yeah, so we're
I guess
four.
it's
Good
kind of
God.
four by default.
Yep. Yeah, we have.
Okay. Well, that's
Huh.
lame. Anyway, I went through here and kind of picked the stuff that we've gotten here. So we've got +1/+1 counters. Um, I don't know if we could mark it as aggro or not, but I feel like it could be pretty aggressive. Casual. Combo. It's a little competitive, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that negates to the casual then.
Yeah.
Maybe,
It's
maybe.
a tail.
It could be both depending on how you want to play it.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Let's not split hairs here. Discard draw is not something that we can pick, which is doesn't make any sense. Um, so we'll just keep going. There's no extra combats. There is flying in here because we can give everything flying. It is growth. So the white, blue, black, green. Let's see what else we've got here. There's a little bit of mill going on here. Um, let's see. Webcam friendly. That's it. All right.
Nice.
So there we go. That's the deck. That is our last deck in our challenge. So
Draw to win.
we appreciate you all tuning in to the deck challenge. It was a lot of fun, and we're gonna keep building decks. Don't think that just because we finished the challenge that we're done. But we wanted to make sure that we got all the 32 combos in there. So we finally did it. We did it, and we're
Yeah.
just
Boom,
we
boom,
are
boom.
72 episodes in. So it's pretty sweet. Um, okay. What are we gonna do next? People may have asked. So Magic Kids followed us a little while ago, and we were like, hey, what can we do to help out Magic Kids? And they said it would be really awesome if you guys could make some Oathbreaker decks. So we're gonna make a couple Oathbreaker decks. We're probably gonna make 4 of them. So each person gets to kind of oversee one of those decks. Um, Next week, we're going to go into what Oathbreaker is a little bit for those who may not know. Um, and then we'll start, maybe we'll build one all together. And then so we might build 5. I don't know. We'll see. We may build 5. We may build 4. We may build 612. Who knows? Everything's endless. So that's what we're doing next. And then also we're getting really stinking close to 1 million views on YouTube. Which I know is nothing like too crazy, but we are getting a little close. So last time I checked, I'll just get on YouTube real quick and check real fast. Because we want to do something special once we reach 1 million views. So we'll do another giveaway once we reach 1 million views. We are currently at 212 subscribers on YouTube. We've got 696,769 views. So we've got a little ways to go. But I think we can do it within this year. If we have a couple things hit. So we'll figure out what we're going to do if we hit 1 million views, and then we'll let everybody know. Some upcoming events that we have. We're going to have a Hexproof Award Magic Summit on July 25th. So if you're in the area, let us know. We're in Indiana. So if you're in Indiana and you're interested in joining us, let us know, and we'll let you know. Also, I want to shout out Sami Zayn for winning the Undisputed Championship at night of whatever it was. I can't remember what it's called anymore. With that, does anybody have anything else they want to talk about?
No, I think that's got it. I'm really unfamiliar with Oathbreaker, so it'll be fun to kind of stretch the old Magic brain and find cards that might not be good in Commander that are good in Oathbreaker or vice versa. So excited to explore that realm.
Yeah, the only thing that I know is, and I'm kind of excited about this, you get to basically you pick your commander to run the deck, and then you also pick their favorite spell that they get to run, and both of those live in the command zone. So we've got to figure out all the rules as to how this works. So we're going to figure that out this week as we're planning the episode, and then we'll probably start building the deck before we get to recording, so you guys don't have to watch the whole entire building process. But we're going to go over the rules and things like that a little quicker. We'll spend a little bit more time together in our text chat figuring that out. So we're good to go, and you guys don't have to watch us figure stuff out on the fly as we go, because it'd be like a 3-hour long episode. And while I'm sure some of you love us that much, a lot of you don't. So
I don't think I love us for 3 hours of an episode.
I love us for 3 hours plus of gameplay, but doing a recording where we're having to sit here with blinding lights in our eyeballs for 3 hours would be a bit much.
Yeah.
Does anybody have plans for this upcoming week at all?
Nothing for this kid. We're just chilling. So with that, anything else, or is this episode resolving?
I think this episode resolves. My biggest plan is to go to Costco tomorrow and get a new fob for my truck. So mine was shorting out, and now every time that I get to the truck, I have to unlock it with a key, which makes my car alarm go off, which is really fun on days I have to work. I feel really bad for my neighbors.
Yikes.
Yeah, Josh.
So I hope the new one works fabulously.
Oh, perfect. And with that, does this episode resolve?
Yes, sir.
I think so.
It resolves.
Right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Hexproof Award. If you liked what you heard, you can continue to listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube. You can give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. We'll see you next week.